Welcome in. It is day 287 and you're speaking with the Meeples Champion. And today we're going to be going over a small card game. I got it a couple months ago and I finally had a chance to sit down and play the game this weekend. The game is called Reign of Dragons. Now the concept of the game is that we have multiple clans of dragons, all with different levels of strength. You're going to have these listed anywhere from 1 to 12. And then on top of those clans, you're going to also have squires, knights, pages. These are all different levels of wilds. And a dragoness, the 113 in the entire group, as well as dragon eggs, or revives as they call them. So depending on number of players, you'll figure out how many different cards you're going to add into your deck. So for instance, in a 2-player game, you're going to get one of the revives, one of each of the 3 knights, you're going to get your dragoness, and you're going to get 5 of the 8 clans. You're going to shuffle it up, and you're going to deal 13 cards to all the players participating. In this case, 2 players. Then, you're going to figure out who has the lowest card. So, you'll call out based on the different clans who has a 1 of this clan, a 1 of that clan. Does anybody have a 1 in general? 2s, 3s. Once you find somebody who has the lowest ranked clan number, that person's going to go first, and they get to set the stage. So they could play a single card, they could play a pair, or 3 of a kind, or 4 of a kind. They could play a run. They're going to play something to set the stage of what you're going for. And now, the next player in line is going to try to play the same thing, but they have to beat it. So they're going to at least, if you put down a run of 4, 5, 6, they at least have to have a 4, 5, 6 where the 6 is of a higher clan, or they have to have it so it ends as like a 5, 6, 7. You're going to go back and forth until eventually somebody can't do this and they have to bow out. Once all the players have passed except for 1, whoever the last player is left, they're going to win. And that means that they're going to take all the cards and put them to the side, and now they get to set it again. This is going to allow them to be able to take an advantage by jumping forward and having another run. So they might put a 4, 5, 6 out and then play a second run of another 4, 5, 6 that they might have had hiding. Once you've done this all the way to the end, you're going to award points based on first, second, and third for 3 points, 2 points, and 1 point. That's the game. Well, that's how the game works. But why don't we jump in, let's talk our 7 categories and see where this game lands for us. When it comes to the art, I actually really like the box. The box is nice. It grabbed my eyes. I didn't know what the game was. I bought it without any idea what I was getting. I just really liked the box. It wasn't too expensive. I thought it looked really interesting. And when I pulled the cards out, they really followed through. It's a good setup of different designs of dragons and colors. Thumbs up. The components follow right through with the art. I mean, it's just cards and they're in really good condition. These cards are not going to wear. They're not going to easily tear. You know, they're not a great card stock necessarily. They're not something that I'm looking at is going to last for years and years, but they're not a bad one. They're a dependable one. So I'm going to give that a thumbs up. Your price is $15. This is not an expensive game. This is an easy game to take a shot on and buy and see if you like it. If you're into card games, that's what I love about card games, is card games aren't so expensive that you can't take a shot on them and add them to your collection. Sometimes they don't work, and that's fine. If you lose out on 5 or 10 or 15 bucks, that's not like taking a shot on a 40 or 50 or $60 board game. So I took a shot on the 15. I enjoy the game, and I think that that's a fantastic price for everybody. Thumbs up. Your difficulty. So for me, what this game is a twist on Rummy. And that's a good thing. I enjoy Rummy. It's a game I played growing up all the time. So to have a new game with a theme to it that does a version of Rummy, but not quite Rummy, that's pretty cool. So for me, this is a great game for beginners and for kids. I think experienced and experts, maybe they're not going to be as into this because I've aged out of Rummy. I don't play it a lot anymore. I only really play it when I'm back home with my mom. But this is a great game that maybe me and my wife could play because I don't want to play Rummy with her, but this is a nice, slightly more advanced version of Rummy, even though it's not really that advanced. So I think it's going to get your beginners and your kids easily, and I think it can still be played occasionally by an experienced. So, thumbs up. Your replayability. If you like the game, you're going to be able to get it to your table a lot. I literally grew up playing Rummy every weekend, weeknights, holidays, vacations. This is a game that I feel like could fit right in there. Your kids want to play games, you don't have a lot of time. Hey, let's play a quick game of this, after school, when you're doing your before you or after you do your homework, before you go to bed on the weekends. Hey, we don't have much to do. I've had a long week of work. I'm tired. I don't want to think. Now, I love board games. That will never happen to me, but I know a lot of people who this happens to. My wife doesn't want to play a board game when she's exhausted after a long week of work, because to her it's a lot of thinking and it exhausts her more, whereas for me it helps me kind of release my stress. But a card game is great for her, and I think a lot of adults will agree on that. So it's a great game to play whether it's with your spouse or your kids, because it's not going to require so much thinking that you're going to overwhelm yourself if you've had a long week. So for me, lots of replayability. Thumbs up. Keys to victory. Obviously, there's a lot of luck in this. What are you getting? If you're looking at 5 different groups of your different clans, that's 60 cards. Then you're getting 4 others, that's 64. You're only getting 26 cards, so less than half. You may not get any special cards. You may miss entire clans. So for me, there's a lot of randomness as to what puts this together. That being said, you can still construct from your deck how you're going to attack this. You can look at it and say, oh, I've got some wilds filling in really nicely here. Maybe I can go for this kind of attack. Hopefully I can, max it out with this card, get a replay, and immediately set it to pairs. There are keys to victory. I think it's a little bit less than I'd like, but for a game like that, that's kind of how it works. There's keys to victory in Rummy too, but there's always the shuffle of the deck and the randomness of what you and your opponent are putting down. So I think this keys to victory, it's just a shallow count there, and that's okay. Thumbs up. Is it unique? It's Rummy with dragons. Yes, there's some wilds. Yes, there's a little different way of how you're scoring here. But it is Rummy with dragons. It's not unique. Thumbs down. Overall, what do I think? It's a fun game. I enjoy the game. It's a quick game. It's a game that you can play with family, with friends, big groups, small groups. I think that it's one that if you like card games, just buy it. And if you're okay with card games, but they're not necessarily your normal preference, take a shot, see if you like it. And if you're not into card games, that's okay. Just don't pick it up. It's not a game that you have to play. It's just a game I think that if you like card games, give it a shot. Well, it has been day 287. We've been speaking about the game Reign of Dragoness. And you've been speaking to the Meeples Champion. Like, share, subscribe, and check down below in the description. I'll be adding an Amazon link in case you want to get this game for your collection. Until next time, I'll talk to you tomorrow.